In 1968, the newly formed Williston Reservoir flooded large portions of three major river valleys, the Finley, the Peace, and the Parsnip, creating one of the largest reservoirs in North America. Due to the flooding of these three river valleys, vast swaths of rich valley bottom habitat were lost, and the way of life for local indigenous Sicanni people was profoundly upended. One of the many lasting impacts of the reservoir is the dust, an issue that emerges every spring when water levels drop and large sandy areas of the drawdown zone are exposed. Fine sediments left behind as the reservoir recedes dry out under the sun, and when the wind picks up, massive dust storms roll through the area. For decades, these dust events have blanketed the region and negatively impacted the community of Sequedeni. In response to this dust problem, the Williston Dust Mitigation Program, or WDMP, was developed. The goal of the WDMP is to reduce fugitive dust emissions from the reservoir's drawdown zone and improve conditions in the area for people, wildlife, and the environment. Collins Camp is the base for WDMP operations and requires a dedicated team to keep people fed, supplies ordered, and the camp facilities running smoothly. Before sunrise, the kitchen crew is already at work, preparing breakfast for crews heading out by 6 a.m. Meanwhile, the cleaning staff keep rooms fresh and common spaces tidy, while the camp first aid attendant ensures everyone is accounted for through daily check-ins and maintains all of the emergency response gear. And in the background, the hum of generators and the rush of the water system is kept steady by the camp's tireless maintenance crew. By early May, field operations are in full swing. Timing is everything. The beaches must be dry enough to support equipment, but dust emissions begin as soon as the surface is dry. In 2025, the crew moved nearly 190,000 kilograms of seed out onto 6 beaches using low-pressure, flotation tire tractors and trailers, essential on the soft, sandy terrain. The program has made many important operational upgrades. For example, in 2024, it transitioned from 50-pound seed bags to bulk loading using mobile hoppers and auger systems, a move that saved time, reduced the risk of potential injuries, and allowed the program to scale. Today, over 10,000 hectares of shoreline are exposed each year, and about 6,000 hectares are known to actively produce dust. The WDMP focuses on the most dust-prone sites, sandy, accessible beaches with minimal coarse woody debris. Seeding begins with loading a mix of fall rye and oats into the grain hoppers, which are staged out onto the beaches. Drill seeders are filled and run parallel passes across the beach. The seed is buried a few centimeters beneath the surface, tapping into moist sand layers that help with germination. Even modest vegetation cover, as little as 10 to 20%, can reduce dust emissions by up to 99%, as seen at Middle Creek North Beach. In 2023 and 2024, analog dust samplers were set out on Middle Creek North Beach to measure dust emissions between a seeded treatment area and a control area. Results found the seeding treatment significantly reduced dust emissions. Jutro Environmental also deploys regional air quality monitoring stations within the Finley Valley airshed to monitor air quality and to try and quantify reductions in dust emissions within Sequedeni territory. Establishing perennial vegetation on the beaches that comes back year after year has proven to be very difficult, but the WDMP team has identified an opportunity to implement targeted efforts in higher elevation areas where flooding occurs very rarely. The team has been constructing protective berm features in these upper elevation areas with the hope that these berms can help protect any planted or naturally establishing vegetation from wave damage during those infrequent high water years. The crews pile coarse woody debris that is collected from activities like stump removal or debris cleanup along the shoreline and cover it with a layer of sand to create the berms. Perennial native species are then planted inside the berms to help kickstart vegetation establishment. The goal is for nearby plant species to begin naturally encroaching into these berm areas over time, helping both reduce dust emissions from these areas, but also reestablishing a full plant community similar to the adjacent reference sites. Looking ahead, the WDMP plans to expand seeding and shoreline reclamation work to new areas, testing and adapting new methods to address the scale of the problem. And the work is far from over. Through dedication, innovation, and community leadership, the WDMP continues to grow one seed, one beach, and one season at a time.